And when I realized, the symptoms of being, stressed, there was no work-life balance, no self-care. I remember one year I found myself 3 weeks at one particular property because everybody literally called in sick. There was no one there to represent it. And I was a senior executive manager and I worked up to assistant general manager. And, I just thought it was my property. So I had to personally, there was also questions. I wanted to know my why. I wanted to know my purpose. What is my God-given purpose? Am I just here to work until I'm 65 and then I get a nice little check and say, sorry, you can go back to Jamaica or to the US or to the Cayman Islands or wherever, and you did us, 20 odd years of good service? No, I didn't want that. So I had to be intentional about my life, about who I am as an individual, about who I am as a woman. And, and that's where things started to change. So I started to read more. So I was now finding myself. So think of a flower, you've planted it, you nurture it, and then it starts blooming. So I was getting out of my shell, if you will. I'd pretty much lost my way. I'd pretty much lost my way. Didn't know who I was at some point. I didn't sometimes, how the weather is like in England, especially during the winter. So you leave home when it's pitch black and you return home when it's pitch black. Yes. Exactly. So I was like, no, this got to stop. And and that's where I kind of, put the green light onto living life on my terms.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like a lot of us kind of, walk around sometimes not feeling our best, but we can't quite put our finger on it. And I'm always constantly, working with people, talking to people about that. Okay, let's try to put your finger on it. Let's try to put your finger on it, because when you're not feeling your best, that is not the natural state.
It is not the natural state, not at all. Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, no. And also what I notice when you're not living in your right state is that eventually you start to codependent. So you're codependent on somebody else to be happy for you, somebody else to love you. So then there's no self-love, there's no self-actualization, no self-awareness. There's nothing of self, but of somebody else. And we can't live like that.
I love that. I love that you said that, because I think a lot of times, even when in love, in relationships, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of feeding off of the other person, or you need constant feeding, constant pouring in, like I need you to tell me that I'm valuable. I need you to tell me that I'm beautiful. I need you. Listen, I like to hear it. I want to hear it.
The validation is good sometimes.
I absolutely want to hear it from you, because you are my person, and I know you need to hear it from me. But at the end of the day, I know it already about myself. And that's important.
It is.
Because if like the listeners, if you can just imagine a time in your life, or if it's happening now, where you feel like you don't feel valuable, or you don't feel beautiful, or you don't feel handsome, or whatever it is, because you're not getting it from the other person, is more than likely because you're not giving it to yourself. So giving it to yourself is going to allow you to even appreciate the relationship that you have, and whether you stay in it or not, because it might not be the right relationship for you. But the first person that has to appreciate you and value you is you.
You're so correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And that, I think, we struggle with more than anything. So that's a lot of transformational work that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen sometimes. It doesn't happen until you get older, until you start looking at yourself and saying, this is it.
Absolutely.
I gotta love this girl. I gotta love this guy here, in order for me to be able to accept real love, or give real love to someone else. Yeah.
So think about it. I love this analogy. So you're driving down, Edward Street in Georgetown, and you realize you're on E, right? So the petrol is going, right? And you're thinking, oh, I might go down to Walker's Road to get it. But halfway through there, you're stopped.
Right.
It's no different. So we want to refuel that petrol tank,
right?
But we're not looking about refueling ourselves. So how do you refuel yourself? How do you spend your day? What words are you saying to yourself? I am amazing. I am loved. I love me. And people would think that, Louise Hay said it's good to do mirror work. So you grab a mirror, you stand in front of the mirror, even naked, you can do it to appreciate your body,
right?
And just say, I love me.
Right.
The flaws, everything. Just I love me.
Instead of looking and saying, oh my gosh, I'm too fat, oh my belly, oh my God, oh look at me, me. Oh, I love,
I
oh,
know, I
and that's
know.
that
The
happens
stretch
more.
marks,
Exactly. That
the
happens
baggy
more than,
belly.
yeah, that happens more than the
Yeah,
self-love. So it's really kind of just just really appreciating you. And I think so I say this now as I'm getting older. I say that I'm trying to be kinder to
dirt.
this woman. She deserves that. Honestly, she's been through a lot of stuff.
We
She
have
has
been.
raised some children. She has been dragged down the road.
We
She has
have.
run a couple of marathons in her life. And so how can I look in the mirror and beat her up? No, I gotta say, girl, you're doing all
You
right.
gotta
You're looking
appreciate her,
good.
of
You're
course.
feeling good. And if you're not looking your best, let's try to get there.
How do we get there?
There you go,
Yeah.
right? So it's not to say that you're going to accept something that you think could improve, but
Mm.
it's really about how do you treat yourself kinder.
With what we have.
Yes, because when you think about like my daughter now, she turns the tables on me now because when she was
Right.
small, of course I was, you're so beautiful, you're amazing, you're this and that and whatever. And now when she'll hear me kind of beat myself, she said, "You're beautiful, you're amazing. You need to stop it. You
Beautiful
wouldn't say that to
affirmations.
me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let anyone say that to me, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna let you say that to
To you,
you."
exactly.
And it's the truth. So self talk. Let's
Yeah.
talk about self talk.
Great affirmations. Oh God. Some of my clients or even friends, they said, I don't like to be in my own headspace. And I was like, how could you not? Like, I mean, I always say my brain every morning is like a blank canvas or a blank sheet of A4 paper because it's a renewal. It's
Right.
the renewal of the mind. It's the renewal of the body and the spirit. So every morning I wake up, there are certain habits that I do have in the morning. So I pray, I journal, I set intentions and I set my goals from overnight because as a coach, you have to walk the talk,
Right.
don't you? And a
Right.
coach has a coach. So yeah, I have my coach who's very much accountable. And I have a few inner circle friends who holds me accountable to what I'm doing. So that headspace is like, it's really good to be in your headspace. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? No, I can't do this. I'm not enough. I can't get that job. I can't get that partner. I can't live in a certain area because I don't belong to a certain socioeconomic group. Why do we always tell ourselves these negative talk? The
Right.
imposter syndrome creeps in. Oh, the neighbors, the Joneses got a new car. I need to get one, but I can't afford it.
Right.
So what are you thinking? What are the thoughts you're having? But also, what are we listening to?
Right. And who
you
are
know
we listening
and who
to?
are we listening to give us advice
Who's in
now
our
that
head?
who is in our head? So now there's YouTube where we can get all the motivational audios on.
We
See,
really can.
we can. We really can. So start from there and start saying your affirmations. And even if you're not familiar with it, just say, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am blessed beyond measure. And gradually it's like anything else. A habit, they say, it takes 21 days, but it actually takes 66 days to develop a habit.
Wow.
And think about when we were young. So at 7, 8 months, some of us, we started walking, and then no, we start creeping, and then we walk, and then we fall down. And your parents say, "God, baby,
Right.
you can do it."
Well, the
So
baby's not going to stay
no,
down.
he's not,
Get
because he
back
needs
up.
exactly, a brave soul. So
Absolutely.
it's no different with, getting accustomed to having the right mindset, the positive mindset, having the saying those affirmations aloud, journaling, setting goals.
Right.
That's so very important.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as you're on the journey, and I'd
Yeah,
say you get up every day, the journey still continues.
it
It just
does.
it's not a destination, right?
It's a
It's a
marathon,
journey.
they say.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about the staying power, right? Because marathons
Absolutely.
are about the staying power. It's not
Yeah,
the
the agility.
fastest. It's not
No, no, the agility.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
another quote: "Life is short. You need to have that light bulb moment that sets you on the path to achieving pure brilliance pronto."
Yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah.
How to achieve pure brilliance because you deserve it. To reconnect to your most authentic self, live life on your own terms. You can achieve this by infusing positive energy with a nourished mind, body, and soul, and fuel it with heaps of joy and laughter.
Yeah.
Okay, if people are wondering, what are some of the things that we'll talk about that they're wondering, that it could kind of give them an idea that they're on a path that they need to find their way. So are they wondering about why nothing is changing,
Yeah.
why things are the same?
So yeah. So for me, initially I had to separate the different areas of my life. So, finance, my physical being, my emotional being, my mental being, my environment, who am I surrounding with, and and also social. I'll tell you how I got. So, I did a rebranding a couple of years ago, and I sat down with my branding coach, and I was like, yeah, after I take my clients rather through this journey, what will they get at the end of it? And I just had a light bulb moment. It's actually pure brilliance. So, how do you achieve pure brilliance? What does brilliance mean to you? Brilliance could mean something different, but for me, brilliance is you're shining your light on yourself, you're shining light on your community, and ultimately shining your brilliance on the world.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see that on your website. The master plan resides with you. You have so much greatness within you that encompasses discipline to move forward and accomplish your desired aspirations immediately. What is brilliance? Are you brave enough to go from blah to
To brilliance.
brilliance?
Exactly. And a lot of us have the brilliance within us, but our environment does not support that, right? They said you're the average of the five people that you spend your time with. So, are you spending the time with those who just wants to sit down and, you know, do whatever, nothing
Right.
productive, if you
Right.
will? Or are you
Right.
going to sit down with those who are talk, okay, what are we going to take to the board table? What doors next are we going to kick down as
That's
women,
great. Yeah.
or even men? What next move can we make that will benefit us, benefit our community, and ultimately benefit the world? Because for me, I'm very big on legacy. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to take the leap of faith from a 9 to 5 to operating my own business. I just didn't want to be a number in somebody else's organization. God forbid if I go today, they'll replace me in a second,
Right.
right? And
Right.
just probably send a floral arrangement and say thank you. You did a fantastic job.
Right. She was a
But
nice lady.
yeah, she was a nice lady. Yeah, I remembered her. She used to, yeah, walk in the corridors, whatever. But
Right.
I wanted to create a legacy. So, for my family, for my kids, but I want to be known for something. I want to be known for changing lives, one step at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, brilliance means different things to different people. Achieving pure brilliance is both something very personal and very powerful. It's about finding the elusive state of flow. I
Yes.
love that word, where everything in your life works in
Seamless. I just feel like
synchronicity.
I'm
It's just
flowing.
all lining up. It's
Yeah,
all flowing. It's all going together.
absolutely.
It's finding your passion, your calling, the things in life that literally make you shine.
Hmm.
It's also about overcoming limiting beliefs and breaking through the things that hold you back from creating the life you want. Achieving pure brilliance means everything for everyone. And as a life coach, it's your passion, your pleasure to help your clients achieve this. So this is
Yeah.
something that you actually do. So
Yeah.
let's tell the listening audience what you do and how you do it and where they can find you.
Sure. So, all that you just said encompasses me really. So, whatever I coach my clients on, I've actually been through it. So, personal experience to me, I never knew my worth. I mean, in the sense, in its own essence, meaning that I was working for a company, it became mundane. I just continued working, and I just thought this was my life. When I stepped out of that, the accomplishment, the opportunities that came my way were limitless, to be honest. I found myself among kings and queens. I represented the UK at the G20 in Argentina. I was featured in the Times last year. Not very often you see a brown girl, in the Times in the UK.
Right.
I was featured in. I write articles globally, but also it's having that mindset where nothing phases me. The challenges will come, but at least I will have the coping mechanism for those trigger points. I have
Right.
my inner circle, I have my coach. And last February when I returned, because I told you I spend my Christmases here, and it was a bit of a so late January. I kind of my self-esteem kind of was, they say ill and gully. So, I was a part of a predominantly white networking body, and I mean I was one of their presidents. And I work hard at what I did. They had a university online. I was just, making the points on the university. I was just, proactively working on it. And it came around to my membership. And they did not renew my membership. You know what was the excuse was?
Wow. What
Oh,
was it?
the excuse was because I gave most of my business to the other members globally,
Okay.
but they just couldn't deal with how sassy I was, how amazing I was and how I was opening doors to myself.
Okay.
So luckily I had my coach who, supported me during the time. I had two coaches who, because I have a relationship coach and a business coach who supported me through the time. And, for me to see my worth then. So the challenges do come, but it's how, what coping mechanism do I have to deal with what I've gone through?
Absolutely. And you are listening to Wellness Wednesdays. This is Straight Talk Drive at 5. And the voice that you were just hearing was the voice of Dee Burrows. She is a professional certified life coach. And we were just talking about living the life that you want, finding your brilliance, going from blah to brilliance. Or are you feeling blah? Do you feel like you're not enjoying your life right now? You feel like you don't deserve to have a better life, or you're stuck, or whatever it is. That's what we're talking about this Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about you, and we're talking about how to get that fire under you so we can get that fire out of you.
Get your mojo back.
Right. Get your mojo. If you never had
Yeah,
it, we're going to get
get
it,
it.
right? But what if you could get clear on your true purpose, turn that into the career or business of your dreams, know exactly what your strengths are and how to use them to reach your potential, overcome your fears of taking the leap and feel more confident, create a healthy relationship with money, start earning your
Yeah,
worth, have a better work and life balance, and make time for things that matter to you. Because I always say that don't live to work, work to
to live,
live. And
exactly.
finally, stop dreaming about one day and start taking action. Everyone deserves to live their life filled with passion and purpose. And I'm reading all this stuff off of her website. I know it sounds like I'm really smart, and I am really
You
smart,
are.
but I'm actually reading from Dee Burrows' website right now.
Mhm.
And it is something that you want to check out. Tell the people where they can find you so they can go and follow you on Instagram or whatever it is, and check out your stuff. Tell them where they can find you, Dee.
Absolutely. So my website is www.achievepurebrilliant.com. I'm on 4 social media platforms. So I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now I'm on the new Clubhouse. So I was actually a moderator last evening talking about lifestyle and wellness. So yeah, do connect if even if it's just a question that you have,
So,
I'll spend 10 minutes and have a quick chat
so
because
how do they find you on those
oh,
platforms?
D
Just
Boros.
your
Yeah,
name?
yeah. Just type my name in D Boros, and it will definitely come up.
So
Yeah. So
DEE.
DEE and Boros, BURROWES. I think for Instagram it's D_Boros. But once you type it in,
Okay.
it will actually come in. Or you can actually shorter route, go on our website, and
And
there are four
click on it.
icons and the
Ah.
icons, and just click on it. Yeah.
All right, good. So you're easy to find, and she's actually in Cayman, and she'll be here for a while. She came visiting, and then she said, "You know what? I think
Why
I
not?
might stick around, just because there's sun, sand, and sea, and this is a beautiful paradise, and the
Beautiful
rest of the
island.
world is crazy, and the UK is crazy right
Crazy. Oh
now.
gosh, yeah, it
So
is.
you look so tanned and nice, and you're just loving that. I think you
Thank you, my
walked. You
sister.
walked today.
I did. Let me tell you about that. So, no, I just felt, and I did not take my local mobile phone. I just did that personally, purposefully rather. I wanted a mobile detox. I didn't want anyone calling me. I wanted to do a bit of meditation. It was only a 15-minute walk here. So
Only a 15
it
minute people, are you
only,
hearing?
it's
I
only.
keep talking to my
Listen,
Caymanian people
save
about
the environment.
walking.
The environment.
Yes, but we don't walk. We go from an air conditioned car, from
I
an air conditioned
know.
house to an air conditioned car to an air conditioned office to an air conditioned restaurant, and then we're
Yeah.
back in the air conditioned car. And
Yeah.
so you're talking about only a 15-minute. Did
It's
you guys
only for
hear?
me.
She's inspiring me.
It's
Let's be
only-
inspired to get out into that, sun, so that we can feel that
Yeah.
vitamin D. Only
I
15
loved it.
minute walk.
It's only a 15-minute walk to the studio, and I loved it. I was actually in my head, I was just thinking my next move, the next
You had a
client.
moment.
Yeah, I was just in my moment. I
That's so
love my
nice.
headspace. I do love my
You know
headspace.
what's funny? Because when you came through the studio, you were sweating, right? And I know
Oh,
you were sweating. It's beautiful,
what's
and
about
and
that?
and I know I work with young people every day, and they're like, "This cabernet too hot. Oh my God, it's hot." And I'm like, "You're from Cayman. Stop it. Get a
Exactly. Don't
napkin, wipe your
complain.
head, and stop complaining."
Yes, I had to
So
powder my nose. Thanks for telling the audience, Catherine.
yeah, no, I mean it was just the comparison of you came in sweating, but you weren't
I
complaining.
was not.
Exactly, you were
I was.
glowing.
I loved
You were
it.
glowing. It was your glow. That was your brilliance. You
That was
walked
my
in with pure
pure
brilliance.
brilliance. I've achieved it. My work is done.
Exactly. Your work is done today. we're going to continue talking a little bit more. We got lots more to talk about this afternoon. D, you are in this chair and you're not leaving until the end of this hour. And we are going to be talking a little bit more about your career path. We're going to talk about some regrets you might have had
Gosh.
that I love to hear about. And I also want to talk a little bit more about that brown girl,
Oh
that
gosh.
brown girl that has struggled, and talk about how we can really kind of work together to get through that, because
It's
that's a bunch of foolishness that still
I
exists.
know, I know, I
It's just a
know.
bunch of foolishness,
It
right?
is, yeah.
And then we'll continue talking about mental health on this Wellness Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon,
My
Dee.
pleasure,
We're gonna come
Catherine.
back with you,
See
so
you
so
shortly.
hold on tight, guys. Don't change the dial. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned for Straight Talk Drive at 5. And welcome back to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at 5 show. Catherine Tyson, your host, and you are tuned into Wellness Wednesdays, of course, where we talk about everything wellness, right? And today we have a beautiful and amazing guest, Dee Burrows, who is a certified and professional life coach, and among so many other things, because your background, kind of goes way back to
It does.
hospitality and accounting and all kinds of stuff. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about your background, and just how you kind of made that shift, and what you're doing right now.
Right. So I worked in the industry, the hospitality industry, for quite a while, and I just knew, when you had that burning feeling that there was something else that you needed to do, and I started to delve into personal development around 15 years ago, and I was like, "What is it, Lord? What is it? What is it? What is it I need with my life?" And I was like, I had that brilliant moment, and I was like, okay, accounting, because I did CXC accounting and I passed out with flying colors. So I delved into accounting, and I went back to school and I did a 3-year course and I passed out with flying colors. And then me again being very proactive, there was not a very well formed accounting professional body that I felt like I could have belonged to in the UK. And I found NABA, which is National Association of Black Accountants, and that was in the US. So, which means I would have traveled every year to their major conference in the US. And of course, I'd nip down to Baltimore for the Baltimore Jazz Fest. Social, right?
Right.
So after I realized then that it was a cycle. So think about that relationship. You have that boyfriend and he doesn't serve you well, and you left him and you went to the next one and thought it was all gonna be better. And then you realize then that relationship is even worse than the first one. So pretty much that was my pivotal moment that I found out that no, it's the same boyfriend in essence for my career.
Okay.
So I in between that I started my MBA, and again I was delving. I did a lot of soul searching, and I went to a conference in Virginia, Lisa Nichols, who co-wrote The Secret, and she mentored me for a while.
Oh, she's my favorite.
Oh God, I love
I
Lisa.
show rescuing yourself to every
Everything.
single group that I
Oh
speak
gosh,
to. I'm
yeah.
gonna show tomorrow to that
Yeah,
group.
Lisa
Yeah,
Nichols, she is amazing, and her story from rags to riches, and she's changing
absolutely.
life and making
Yes,
such
she is.
impact, profound impact. So I went to this event in Virginia, and it was a women's conference. And you know what, Catherine? I saw women on stage doing amazing stuff. They were life coaches, business coaches, philanthropists. And I always said that moment I found that proverbial last piece to the puzzle that I lost years ago.
Right.
And
This is what I'm supposed to do.
I just connected it. And I was like, voila, I
Yeah,
found it.
right,
And it was a light bulb moment for me, but I wasn't sure what my next move was. So
right.
still had my corporate job, and I know you guys are gonna say she's bonkers, she's crazy, but I went back and I just wrote a resignation
You
letter.
quit.
And I was like, if I didn't do it now, then when? When is the right time? I toyed around with this for many years. I
Right.
toyed around it. And then at some point, my job became a means to an end. I just have it because it paid the bills. I can travel. I can come to Cayman and whatever. And I was like, no, my peace of mind was more than what I was getting monthly in the
Right.
bank,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I was coached by Lisa for a while, and then I went to coaching school for 6 months, and that's how I became certified as a life coach. Then
Okay.
gradually, I was introduced to NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. So there are certain modalities, to get rid of fear, certain anchoring that you utilize to support your clients. So, I mean, it was just a win-win for myself. So coaching tools, NLP tools. And I realized then it was my clients, when I was just doing coaching, it would take probably a good 3 months for them to really get into themselves. But with NLP, the results were faster.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So that was the journey, to be honest. And after that, then this year, it's my second year anniversary where I became a mental health practitioner.
Okay. Now, I'm just listening to all of that stuff, and when I teach classes also about, building yourselves
Hmm.
and positioning yourself for success and stuff like that. I had a class today that I taught over at the WORC, and I was telling them about, there's a bridge, and I believe there's a bridge. There's people that have and people that want, and so there's a bridge between the have and the want. So
Yeah,
the bridge is that you figure out how to get over to the people that have it,
yeah.
right? And so what I mentioned today was, maybe you look down below and there's water and there's stairs, and you don't want to go in that
Because you don't.
water, and it's going to be a mess. But you know what? That's the water that you need to go in order for you to get to that side. And so
Absolutely.
maybe it's probably not even deep. Maybe you just have to roll up your pants leg.
And
But
just
when
go
you
over.
get over to the side, you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
And so as I'm hearing you talk about, some of the things that you've done to get to where you are, I think, wow, there you go. It sounds like a lot of work, and but it is,
it
but
is
it's worth it
worth it.
when you get to that side.
Yeah.
So I think that to me sometimes is what stops people from moving forward, because it
The
just feels like
unknown.
it's so much.
And
It's
it's
like,
the
listen,
unknown.
one thing I know about the unknown, you know what you know, and if you don't like what you know, then you
Yeah.
need to get to the
To the
other side.
outside and see what it's
Yeah,
about.
just what are you feeling right now? If you're not feeling your best, if you're not feeling that you're in the place that you want to be, if you're not feeling that you're in the best relationship you could be
Oh
in,
gosh.
the best job you could be in, the best place that you are, if you're feeling that right now, that means that this is an opportunity to be in tune with yourself, to
Yeah.
figure out, okay, how do I get to
To
where I
where I
want to
want.
go?
Yeah.
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 And so yes, it might take work. Yes, it
Yeah,
probably
it will,
will,
of
but
course.
sitting and not doing the work and just waking up feeling blah.
Or don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
blah is probably the least of the
The
evils at this
least,
point.
the least of it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not feeling your best for sure, because how can you really, you know, dance to that music? How can you really flow? How can you really sway if
Yeah.
you're not feeling your best?
And you'll know because the symptoms are there.
Yeah.
You get irritable at the least thing.
And if you have a
And
family, if you have children, if you have a
exactly.
relationship that feels
That's
that
that
from you,
that bad energy. Yeah.
yes,
So that affects
it's
the
not
relation.
fair.
It's not fair on the
Yeah,
kids.
it's
It
not.
affects your personal relationship. It
Absolutely.
affects intimacy. It affects your
Absolutely.
professional life. It affects everything really. So you're gonna say the the buck stops here.
Yeah.
And you're going to like, no way, I can't live my life like this.
Absolutely. And feeling your best, being your best makes you perform at your best.
Optimal level.
And that's at work,
Optimal
that's in
level.
relationships, that's in everything.
Every
So
area.
it's in your best interest to
Interest.
feel your best,
Best.
right?
Absolutely.
And so to search for that is important. Okay. Now time is going and it's going so fast. It
I
just feels
do.
like a little train ride here. Bossed Up on Purpose. This is your book, Bossed Up on
Yeah, that's
Purpose.
my book.
And love it. Lots of different women talking about some stuff. Tell us a little bit about Bossed Up on Purpose, and then I want you to say what one of your regrets is, because I read it in here and I thought I love that. I love
You have
what
to remind me
your
of that one
regret
because there's
is.
so many. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I think that you didn't start. That you didn't start earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
But you know
So,
what? Even us, I'll tell you about the book first. So Bossed Up, when you think of Bossed Up, is having that resolve, having that determination, having that, when you know about the unknown, well, you don't know about the unknown and you came on the other side and you're like, hey, look at me. You told me I could not. You told me, or you didn't give me the opportunity. And I'm going to say something to that. So there was a Big Four company, and I'd applied for them years ago in London. And them days they had a management training, and they were for the 18-year-olds and certain ethnicity,
right.
and probably I didn't fit in and I would never get the job. Every time I apply, refusal. I was like, what's happening? And I ticked all the boxes.
Right.
And there
Right.
was once I was invited for an interview, and yeah, I see the look on their face. You probably wouldn't have fit in because I'm a brown girl.
Right.
And last year I planned again, it's my network. So my network is massive. I mean, I was called a prolific networker. So probably 4 or 5 continents I have connections.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it sounds like you're like me. Give me a room, and I'm gonna leave with everybody's card.
car, definitely. And that's how I
And I'm gonna contact them in the next
exactly
week.
exactly I'm going to nurture the relationship. So I'm a
Exactly.
farmer. You nurture that relationship, you plant the seed, and you water it every day, you nurture it, because the worst part of it, and people have done it to me before, but I was like, no. So they've met me and they're like, oh yeah, I need a room, can you connect me with a particular hotel? And I'm like, sure, yeah, what a friends and family rate.
Right.
But I realized that's the only time you would have kept in touch, so I
Right.
had to like draw the brakes. So yeah, so
Want
back to
something.
you want something. So yeah, so in 2019 I found myself walking on the corridor of that company right in the middle of London, and I was like, God, you are so amazing, because look how many times these people refuse me, and I'm there now. When I get in, security knows my name, he allows
Right.
me up to the executive room,
Right.
and I'm there planning
Right.
an award ceremony for project manager.
Right. And you know what I love about that story? Because in Cayman we don't talk a whole lot about, being brown and what that means. Because I think it's hypocrisy a lot, and I don't like that, because I know doggone well that there are times when it is about that.
It is.
But I think what I love about that story is sometimes we really have to function as if it's not about that.
No.
Like literally walk into that
The
room and let people's ignorance then be obvious, because a lot of times they won't be obvious with it, and so you'll stay in the room.
Yeah.
And it's not an issue. I'm walking in as Catherine
Walking in my
Tyson.
purpose.
That's who I'm walking in as. If
Of
you have an
course.
issue with what came into that room,
You
that's
sort
on
yourself
you.
out.
Sort
Exactly.
yourself out. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna be amazing. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And when I
Yeah.
leave this room, then you'll say, "Wow, yeah, she's pretty smart. Oh
Yeah,
wow, I
yeah.
really liked her."
Yeah.
Because I didn't walk and go, "Oh my goodness, I know what they're gonna think. I don't look like these people in
No.
here." Like absolutely not, because you're stopping yourself from getting into that room.
Absolutely.
And so that's
Great
the part
point.
I think of transformation.
It is.
I lived in the U.S. for half my life, so I know
No.
every room that I walked in
Yeah, I have to turn
in
heads.
the 90s.
Yeah.
That's what they saw. And
Yeah.
so how did I ensure that I wasn't walking in with that on my shoulders and feeling like I'm going to get a response
What?
based on that? No, I'm
No.
walking in as me.
Yeah.
And so I find that when you do that, you really do kind of break through those barriers. And I love that. So that's what
Yeah.
I loved about that story, that Dee Burrows was in the house.
Yeah,
She was
great,
in the room.
great point. But I'm not the one to throw the card up and say, "Hey, it's a race
No,
card here."
absolutely.
I
Absolutely
go
not.
as me. I want you to see me as who I am,
Right.
not where I live,
Right.
not the color of my
But you
skin.
lived where you lived,
Exactly.
and the reality
I
is the
was told, "Oh,
reality.
you're so loud." And I'm like, but this is my voice. What am I going to do? There's certain things we can't control. I can't control how I look. I can't control my
Wow,
height. I can't
that
control.
someone would say that too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Exact
definitely a cultural
ignorance.
thing. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a culture thing. Yeah.
For sure. So your biggest and so your biggest mistake or regret, I think, that I loved, that's in the book, Bossed
Yeah.
Up, and got to talk about Bossed Up,
Yeah.
is that you waited too late to start your entrepreneurial journey. I love that being your mistake,
Yeah. Yeah.
because why wait?
Uncertain.
Timing,
I know it's a
everything.
timing. I don't have enough money saved up. The finance part of it. I have my bills to pay. I have this. I want to travel. I want to do this. Was I
Right,
ready? What was against me, or
right,
or what could I have done?
right,
Was it did I have the right connections? Did I have the know-how?
right,
So yeah. So when in hindsight, I thought, oh, I should have taken that journey years ago. Now I'd be retiring.
right, right.
But yeah, so that goes to show you that sometimes we're gonna have that inkling, like, no, we can't do it. Just go for it.
Right.
Just I love Steve Harvey. He said, just take that jump,
Yeah,
jump, just
just
jump.
jump.
Seriously, just jump, just
Well,
jump.
well, Lisa Nichols says
Yeah,
you have to jump. She says you get at the edge of
edge
the
of the
mountain, and
mountain.
you
I
feel
don't
the
like
breeze, and you
breathing,
think you
nothing.
did something. She
Yeah,
says
just jump,
no,
just
just
jump,
jump. She says
just jump.
because two things will happen: you'll jump and you'll fall on something hard,
You're right.
or you'll fall on something soft. But it doesn't matter.
You
Whatever
won't
you
know.
fall on, you have all the tools that you need to get
Absolutely.
back up. Okay, and that's
Absolutely.
what I read too, in
Absolutely.
introducing the show today, talking about the quote, about women have all the tools that they need.
But
It's
we
the
never use.
world that told us that we
We
didn't
don't
have
have
it.
it.
So I really, really think that that is so,
It's profound.
it's so profound, and it's so
Profound.
true,
Yeah.
right? Take the leap,
Just
jump.
take it. Just
Take the
jump.
leap, jump. Just
Jump.
just and jump, and
Just jump.
just know that the net will appear.
Yeah, and when I thought about that, I jumped, and I think like all the cards are aligned, and it's a domino effect, because it's one success to what on the next open door. I mean, writing articles, who would have thought that I would be writing articles on an international platform?
Right.
I have work published in Medium, Authority magazine abroad, even here, the local magazine here, writing for the Times, and I'm actually doing a journalism course now, because I love to get certification,
But
because
because yeah, you got nothing else to do. You're
no,
bored
I
to
do,
death.
but
Bored to death.
I just love to have my certification to say, yeah, I am actually fit for this role.
Right.
And yes, I'm doing an online course. But saying that now, after, yeah, jump. So there's another personal story. So after my MBA, I was like, yeah, I'm done with academia, no more. Then guess what happens? Found myself studying again.
Right.
And I did a PGC, so that's a postgraduate certificate in education. And I was like, my God, what is happening? But to be honest, I thought I remember being at home in my home office, and it's like somebody said, you need to apply for a PGCE. When you have that premonition, and I was like, and I was like, okay, and I just went and I applied, and I got accepted. And 2 years later, I qualified as a trained teacher.
Okay.
I graduated March 2008, and one of my networking professional bodies, there was the director that came for business school smack in the middle of Bond Street, and she said, "Oh, dear, I'd love to have a chat with you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." The pleasantries after we exchanged the business cards, and I'd love to have a chat with you. Of course, why not? So we met up for coffee, and she was like, I have I might have a vacancy for you." I was like,
Okay.
I'm building my business,
Right.
And she was like, "No, Dee, it's only 2 hours." And I was like, "Yeah, tell me more." And she was like, "It's events management. I'd love for you to teach it." And I was like, I just stopped in my track, because when I was doing my PGC, I concentrated on employability. So I'm thinking, well, and I work for a charity and I work for a school. I did year 10 and 11 when I was doing my teaching hours. So I was like, yeah, it's going to be employability, but how God had it, that gig literally fell into my lap, and it's up my street because it's events, it's the hospitality industry. So preparing my lesson plans were so easy. September will be 3 years
Wow.
that I'm with them, and now
There you
we've
go.
transformed virtually. I do deliver those classes there, so they're 3-month courses
There you
that I
go.
deliver online.
So I don't know, listeners, if you're hearing this lady, like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be jumping.
Exactly, we
Because
can all.
I think if she's offered 10 more jobs today, she's going to take them. So that's 10 jobs that are available. valuable.
Yeah, and the thing, let me add, I wasn't born any different from you. I wasn't born with a gold spoon in my
Right.
lap or in my
You
mouth, to
don't
be
get
honest.
off the hook because I'm brilliant. That's what Lisa Nichols says
Yes,
too. I tell you,
exactly.
I know it word for word.
We've
Like
been through the
she's my
fight and
girl.
back. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
doom and gloom
Absolutely, absolutely. And you take the lemons and you make
and
lemonade.
made
And
lemonade.
that's it. Just be in tune with your spirit. How
Yeah.
are you feeling? If that there's that nagging thing inside of you, if you feel like, listen, I should be doing something
Follow that
more.
gut feeling. It's
I
right
should be
here.
doing something. Listen, you're probably right and you're
Mm-hmm.
on the right track. Do not be afraid. Keep it moving. It is something out there. The world is beckoning you. The universe is trying to pull it out of you. So don't be afraid. That's my word for you this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the truth. And we can get stuck in the doldrums. We can get stuck in the, especially with the year that we had
Oh
last year.
gosh,
The
yeah.
world is still insane.
Yeah.
You can be also caught up in that.
Of
But,
course.
just find deep within, that feeling and just, get yourself to safety. I think that is so important. Now, I do want to just talk a little bit about what you did mention about the brown girl thing, right? Because I think it is important, and I don't
It
want to stay
is.
on it too long. We
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time left. Um, but I wanted to give the credit to Bob Marley and his song "War." How can racism be addressed? Until this is an excerpt. Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is
Mm.
finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everything is war. Miss say war. That
Yeah.
until they are no longer first class, and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin, if of no more significance than the color of his eyes, Miss say war. That until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race, this a war. That until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, rule of international morality will remain in but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. Now everywhere is war.
Yeah.
War. I mean, this was a very long time ago
Yeah.
that this was written and was sung, and
And
you can look it
yeah.
up on YouTube and sing it this afternoon, after the show. But it's the truth,
Yeah.
and
And
it's still very, very
very
prevalent.
yeah, and when I so what Catherine just read is a paragraph from an article that was published late last year when the BLM was very active, Black Lives Matters.
Right.
And I was very strategic in how I'd written that article because I didn't want to rock the boat, if you will. So I must have read that article 5 times after I wrote it. It's unfortunate, right? It is so very unfortunate that in 2021 we have to be mindful of what we're saying to somebody who doesn't look like us,
Right.
or mindful of what others are saying to us who doesn't look like us. We have to be mindful of, no, I can't apply for that job because it's a big four and nobody there looks like me. I mean, it's a free world. We should feel liberated. We should feel that we can apply for any job vacancy. We can live anywhere. We can do whatever we want, even just going on flights.
So in
You know,
2021, and imagine that song was written in 1976.
in 1976, like, and it's so relevant
Oh,
today. It's like
ridiculously
he's so ahead
relevant.
of what was happening, just like
No,
how some of
well,
Marcus Garvey philosophy
well, definitely he was ahead of it, but I think the ridiculousness of it is
is
is my
perpetuated.
point.
Yeah,
1976 to right now,
yeah.
still being so prevalent. It's
How can we
insane.
change that
We
though?
need to
It's a
stop it.
we need to stop it,
Yeah.
and you
We'll
have
walk in like you're not brown. That's one way to stop. I'll tell you, that's one way to
yeah,
stop it.
yeah,
You know what I mean. Like,
but
it's not going to change it. I mean, it's
yeah,
not going to cure it,
it
but
won't.
it is one way.
Sometimes it doesn't, because I'm gonna go back. This is 2002. I always work for 5-star hotels because I know my worth. I'm not gonna work for a 3 and 2 star hotel. No way. So I remember I was doing a secondment for night
How
shift.
dare you?
No, not at all. No, I know my worth.
How
Of course not.
dare
I
you?
think probably I was the only one who had a hospitality degree working for in the city of London. Anyway, a guest came out, Caucasian guest, and he came out and he said he would love to see the manager. So my colleague, she was brown skin girl as well, and she came and she called me. So I went out. Obviously, we exchanged pleasantries, and the lad said, "I need the manager. You are the housekeeper."
What?
In the yes,
Well,
yes,
thank
yes.
goodness that's not happening
And I
here.
and I'm and I'm like, sir, I was dumbfounded, and I was like, sir, excuse me, and he was like, I need somebody British, And you know what I said to him? I said, it seems as if you're not sure how history is. And I had to. And then immediately I called security because, yeah, we had security. And guess what happened? My security was a South African. And he said it. He said, are there no English British people working here? And he just went on and he a few profanities, and then we had to, call the police. And then when the police came, he was like, I told them I needed to see somebody who was British, somebody who looks like me. So, and this man, he had a few drinks, but what I'm saying, the point is that it was within his subconscious.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what drink he had that
Right.
you thought brought that out.
Right.
But
It was there.
it was there.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So, and before we can change that, us as brown people, us as a community, I think we have to work together where we NABA has this their little branding thing to say we lift as we climb, and I live by that.
Right.
We live.
Absolutely.
I lift as, and I have it written in my affirmation. I lift as I climb. So what that
Right.
means, I got the ladder. I want to pull you along.
Of course. Yeah.
I get the next big break. I want to pull you along.
Yeah.
Because what's the point not pulling you along? They say it gets lonely up there.
Yeah.
So in the entrepreneurial space, they say it really does get lonely. But if I know about something that can benefit myself and ultimately benefit you, why will I not bring you up that ladder?
Yeah.
So we need, in our community, we need to be more receptive of
Right.
we have differences,
Right.
but we need to be owning on that value. Go back to basic, I would say.
Yeah.
Charity begins at home. So before we're looking for a Caucasian to satisfy whatever need we have socially, why don't we do that in our community?
Yeah. Well,
Seriously.
for sure. Well, for sure. I mean, I'm telling you, it really is something that we really shouldn't be having to deal with in
No.
this day and age. Truth is the first thing, kind of being honest with yourself. But I say, especially in my country here, I say I'm walking in. If you have a problem with it, you might have to leave, or you got to sit down, do something, turn your head, don't look at me. I'm coming in. If the doors are there, I'm coming through the door. You can't keep me out of here. And luckily, in Cayman, we are able to do that because it is a small place.
Yeah.
And so we're able to not not have to deal with the blatant blatant stuff, and that's it. And so as long as you can keep it not blatant, me and you cool, because I'm coming in.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of winding down here, so I want to ask you a couple of quick questions. One
Sure.
is, define purpose for me, and what habits and mindset changes helped make you successful that you can suggest to someone who has that burning in their belly, who has that blah feeling, who wants to do something more or greater. What's purpose, and how do they find it?
Okay, so purpose, I'm not going to go off what the Collins Dictionary say. Purpose for me is utilizing my God-given skills and talents to change in lives. But
Okay.
first, I have to change my life and then ultimately extend that to family, friends, community. And it's finding my why. Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I want to change somebody's life? Why don't I want to live in a funk life? Because there's I want to find my mojo. So purpose is, and you feel it from the gut. Because when I was, going through all the motions of personal development, it felt right here. I felt it from my stomach, like, yeah, this is what I want. I knew it. So it's like having a premonition, having that light bulb intervention where I know that, yeah, this is what I want to do. So my purpose is aligned with my why of what I want to do, what I want to leave behind, what needs to be left behind to say D was known for this.
Well, I'm going to read this from Bossed Up on Purpose, and it's kind of what you said, but this is going to be very general for the listeners, because that's
Sure.
what I want to leave them with today. How will I utilize my experiences to translate that into my purpose of new possibilities of what I want to emerge in my life?
Mhm.
Being purposeful signifies being intentional
Yeah.
about my next course of action, consciously taking the lessons from your challenges and pain to living fulfilling lives. How will you show up 110% in life, personal space, spirituality, relationships, business, health, wealth, and career? Not having purpose doesn't give you the drive to achieve your goals. Purpose is a master plan that keeps you focused, giving stability to your intentions, and going beyond being normal.
That sums it up.
That's a word, ladies and gentlemen. That's a
Yeah.
word for you. That's it. So finding your purpose for
Finding your
sure.
purpose. Yeah.
That is really, really important. So a couple of steps, a couple of habits and mindset steps that people might need to start thinking about. And we have a couple of minutes left.
Okay, so the first one is break up monotony. So, what we've done every day, we think, we feel, we act the very same way. Oh, it's Friday night and I want to go to a rave every Friday night. No, if it's a social aspect, you can probably go to a concert or go to the cinema, instead of, doing the norm.
Okay, so break up the monotony. Don't do the same,
Same thing
okay?
over and over.
All right.
Secondly, surround yourself with amazing people who will take you to the next level.
Surround yourself with amazing people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The third one, which is I had to kind of renew my mind with this one. Value yourself.
Value yourself.
Value yourself. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you are. And also quiet your mind.
Quiet.
With what's going on.
Go 15 minutes and think.
I practice what I preach.
That's right.
So quiet your mind. That is just, that is very important. Quiet your mind.
Because
Yeah.
within the stillness, the answers come.
Still, oh gosh, yeah.
They do.
They do.
They do.
The
They really
calmness.
do.
Yeah. The
All right.
stillness.
So that was 4. I'll repeat them. Break the monotony. Stop
Yeah.
doing the same thing. You
Mhm.
want something. You want different results. Change what
Sure.
you're doing. Surround yourself with amazing people. Remember, you're the average of the 5 people you
people.
hang out with. So surround yourself with amazing people. Doesn't mean that you don't love the people in
Oh,
your
no.
life and you hail them up. And like I say, I hail them. How you doing? You good? Good. Value yourself. Remember that you got to love yourself. You can't just love other people. You got to love yourself and quiet your mind. Okay. Here's an exercise I'm going to give you guys this Wellness Wednesdays as we close this show. Look in that mirror. Love that
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
Tell that person that you love them. Embrace them. Tell them they are fabulous. They are incredible. They can do it. They have all that they need. And just get in tune with that person and just love on them. Dee Burrows, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
It's a pleasure, Catherine. Thank you for having me.
It has been amazing. I don't even know how we're going to end this show because it's just been so amazing, and I really thank you. This has been Wellness Wednesdays. I hope you've been as blessed as I've been with our guest, Dee Burrows, a professional life coach. Go and check out her website. Quick time again, your website.
www.achievepurebrilliant.com, and you'll find my 4 social media handle there. Just click on it. And I'm also on Clubhouse. Yeah, if you're not on Clubhouse, just come and join it as well.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow with Thursday's Success 101. I look forward to knowing that you're out there listening. Take care and have a great evening. Be well.